Very good morning, Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy, Special Secretary, Government of Telangana, Dr. Chandrika Kaushik, Director General, DRDO, Dr. S.K. Jha, CMD, Methani, Dr. Paulori Subbarao Garu, a man known as the Ananta Technologies, man for both space and defense, Mr. Sai Prasad, Mr. Sumayuddin, and all other important people who are present in this meeting today. Once again, very good morning. First of all, I'd like to congratulate CII for having a discussion or meeting on this very important topic of innovations in disruptive technologies. It's a very strong subject, actually. Like to say, we are talking about disruptive technologies, and then in that we are talking about innovations, and then a global ecosystem. It's a very, I say, intensive technical subject what we need to look at. Why it is, if you look at the defense and aerospace ecosystem, it has been evolving in the last about primarily about 4 decades. If you look at whether it is in the space side or in the defense side. Space probably with the ASLV launch, which has taken a one different step. From there went to PSLV. Similarly, when Dr. Kalam brought the missile program here in Hyderabad, that is where the missiles started coming up and all that. So that's how defense and aerospace sector, which has taken a leap. And if you look at 1980s, probably there were very few industries which were there, and most of them were BTP, build to print, which manufactured the systems based on the drawings and all. So from there the industry has evolved itself, and numbers have gone up, which were less than about 50 to 60 industries which were there in the early 80s. Now we just heard Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy saying more than about 1,000 industries are there here in the Telangana itself, mostly Hyderabad, MSMEs. Then transforming from them from build to print to build to specifications. That is the one change which has come up in a big way. That's why most of the projects and most of the systems which are being taken up today, as the industry has evolved itself and industry is able to design the systems, develop the systems. So many systems are being developed also very, very quick and fast. If you look at a missile development, about 3 decades back, the conceptualization to development and testing and then proving and getting into induction is about 15 years is the textbook definition. Now it has come down to probably 6-7 years is the type of change what has come. In the other side, I like to say, any country in the world globally, aircraft designed to roll out and to first fly is about 10 to 15 years, or maybe more than 15 years used to be the state of the things. Now, the way the scenario has changed in the country, our people were committing that a project is sanctioned for aircraft development here in the country. We will roll out in less than 4 years, rolling out of aircraft, and from there in 1 year we will do a first flight also. So that is the type of a scenario change which has come in the country, primarily out of the ecosystem developing. The ecosystem, when we say ecosystem, whether it is in academia, research organizations, or the industry, all the 3 come into picture. I can say again, in the 1980s, when we were looking for any reviews, the same thing, when we say, you take it granted that it's both defense and space. There must not have been more than 3-4 academic institutes in the country where a couple of professors by name can participate in the review, understand the things and contribute in the review. Nothing, very few. Yadavpur University, IISc, maybe IIT Chennai and a couple of people like that only were there. From there, the system you heard Dr. Chandrika Kaushik talking about, there are 1150 crores worth of projects in the defense sector alone, and more than about 400 500 academic institutes working on that, having more than about 15 centers of excellence in various fields working in this area. That's the ecosystem which has come in the academia, working on lot of defense and aerospace projects. Similarly, if you look at the industries, as I said, the total industries in the country are more than 1800 Tier 1 and Tier 2 industries which are there in the country, and more than about 15,000 industries which are Tier 3 industries which have come. And not only changing from BTS to BTP to BTS, there are many industries who are doing the research and development in the niche areas, what the areas they have taken up and have come up also in a big way. So this is another sea change which has come. Then if you look at the youngsters, most of the youngsters earlier you were looking at, let's say IITs. More than 75% of the bachelor degree IIT students who were coming out of our IITs were going abroad. And we used to have only 5 IITs. Now we have every state an IIT. And today, more than 75% of the students who are bachelor degree students from IITs are staying back here in the country. This is a sea change, what has happened from earlier to now. And a lot of people who have gone outside, who have done their doctorates and postdocs, they're coming back to this country. If you look at maybe 7 years back in IIT Hyderabad, 6 years or so, the average age of the faculty was about 28, 29 or 30. Many of them were the postdocs who have done outside and they have come here and started working in this. Similarly, in the country, the ISRs have come, Indian Institute of Science Education Research, to promote research in sciences, which was actually getting depleted as the engineering subjects have dominated. We were just discussing some time back with Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy here, where were 1970s about 5 engineering colleges in the combined state of Andhra Pradesh. Now probably about in the 2 states together more than 2000 engineering colleges must be there here, and we are producing 1.4 million engineers a year in this country. And good that almost 90% of them are getting placed also. So that is the sea change. So that time in the process the interest toward the science and arts has come down, but with the ISRs coming into the picture and a lot of other areas, the interest in the science research also has gone up, which is a fundamental. So the ecosystem has started building, and if you look at the defense and space, where primarily the industries were in the supply chain, that was the scenario. Either you were producing as a BTP or producing as a BTP, the industries were part of the supply chain. That scenario has changed in the last few years, wherein the industries have taken the leading role, where they are the lead system integrators and they are the product developer. I am talking about the bigger product, not just the subsystem people. So if you look at, let's say, missiles, never a missile was developed by anyone else except Bharat Dynamics Limited / Bharat Electronics Limited. Now with the DCPP concept which Dr. Chandrika explained has come out, where now many missiles are being developed by as a DCPP by many industries today. At least about 10 missiles are being developed by, or bombs developed by private industry today. Non-BDL, non-BEL, there are industries which are developing. That's how today you look at, you have the factories established by Bharat Forge, Adani or L&T or Tata's here in Hyderabad. Hyderabad being the hub of missiles, a lot of people have come into picture and trying to do it. Similarly, space, again, even if you look at Subbarao Garu, he has been supplying and he continues to supply a lot of subsystems to both defense and space. He being a space scientist who has come from, worked in ISRO and coming, having the knowledge of that, lots of telemetry systems, telecommand systems and various other systems, onboard computers and navigation systems and all that. And now today the transformation is, you see, he is a man of satellites, himself launching satellites, multiple satellites, not just for the country, global applications, global commercial and whatever it is and all. So the industry has evolved again in this with a lot of changes happening in the system, from subsystems are part of the supply chain to being system developers and producing it. So that is why in the defense, I am not very sure that Chandrika was presenting it or not. If you look into the last about 4 years, the total AOMs which Ministry of Defence has given is about 1.5 lakh crores for the industry. In that, roughly about 55 to 60,000 crores have gone to private industry, not a subsystem, as a system. So that is the sea change which has come, and things are moving very, very fast. A lot of indigenous systems which are getting into. Similarly, if you look at in the defense, where the indigenous systems content was less than 40%, maybe close to 30-35%. Now it has reached almost 60% of the indigenous systems, and it is growing continuously. As you heard, the number of systems which to be not imported, to be developed here in the country and all that have gone. This is another thing. One more sea change, what has happened is, never any youngsters, except probably 1% or 2% of the people who are coming out of the academic institutes after their graduations or masters, were thinking of having an industry themselves. Whereas now, the name must be different, whatever it is. You call it as a startup now, but lots of people have entered into the startup things. That's where the various state governments and academic institutes and the ecosystem which has come up in the country to support this. The way today you see the T-Hub, it's a classic example. I don't know, it's one of the global facilities. People who go there, they find that it is one of the state-of-art systems, and the facilities, the mechanisms which have been created are fantastic systems which have been created. The environment also, it creates a feeling that you are in a most advanced nation, and that sort of a thing systems which the governments have, respective state governments also have taken a lot of interest in coming to. Similarly, any academic institutes which is a good academic institute today, you always find an incubation center in that academic institute today. So that has encouraged the youngsters to come up in a big way, and the number of startups which were there in the year 2016, about 450 or so were there in this country. And now today we are crossed to 1 lakh startups, 1 lakh startups, and mostly you can say that about more than 80% of them are youngsters. That is how the scenario has changed. This is one thing. Second concept is, not only in the startups and even in the industry today, all other industry also, we used to be, as I said, part of the supply chain to anything. Even leave aside this defense and aerospace also. Generally, let's say what item shall we make for HMT, what item shall we make for ECIL, or what item shall I make for BHCL. This used to be the concept. That has changed now. We have become a global supply chain. Many industries started supplying, and many outside big MNCs have come to this country asking you establish and you supply from here in the country. This is one scene change. Second scene change is the shift from being just a supply chain, the mindset has become globally competitive mindset. Global competitive mindset. Majority of the startups, when you are looking, The idea is not whatever the thing is coming out, not looking at BHEL or ECIL or DRDO or ISRO. Why not I come out with an idea and a concept or a design or a product which actually world looks at me and tries to take this product or a design from me, is what any youngster, if you look at it. You go here, the way you interact with a number of the startups here in Hyderabad, in T-Hub or ISB or go to IIT, the concepts are like this. We're talking about very small medical devices and software analysis and software apps, what they come out there, are at globally competitive things. So looking at whether a person from USA or one from Japan or from Europe comes and takes this from. And that's why the startups are also not looking the funding from just from locally somebody here. Many of the startups, the funding is coming from abroad, whether it's Singapore, Dubai or US or Europe or wherever it is, the funding is coming. Because the product, the concept what is working and the product what is working is a globally competitive product. So this is the sea change what has happened, and that's how today if you look at it, I think Dr. Vishnuvardhan was mentioning again, the complete drone market here in the country, the drone, let's say market or the drone systems is fully captured by the startups only. This is one thing where almost all, everything, the youngsters are coming and varieties of systems are coming, and there are at least about more than 300 startups working on drones here in the country. And now we entered into the global market and exporting in a big way. This is how the sea change. One more change is particularly when you talk about defense, or in defense and aero sector. I don't use the word space. We have been a leading importers. We have been a leading importers over decades. That has somehow it has happened. Now that the trend has changed. We started exporting and exporting in a good way, and the numbers are going up in a big way, and trying to see that our exports are going up, and trying to turn around from leading importers to leading exporters. We are turning around, and this is very important, particularly for all of you here in industry. It is extremely difficult, particularly in defense and space sector, to have an industry and sustain that industry with sustained orders. Because what happens is, in a defense ecosystem, you take a particular technology, a particular system, you will not be having more than one or two types or three types of a system in any industry, maximum that. And you can't have regular orders are coming on that, so that your production line is continuously managed. That is very, very difficult. So if we are part of the global supply system, and where we are supplying and exporting in a big way to the world, then this, depending on this country's orders from military or space, comes down in a big way. We don't have to be, and the industry doesn't have to be worried about the orders, because you give it. And that's how that these things have picked up. Today, the recent systems what we have developed, there are a lot of interest which is coming up from the world, various countries which are showing. You just talk about ATACS gun what has been developed, or some of the PGMs what we have developed here in the country. Lots of people who are showing interest in the globe, who are coming towards India and trying to see that why not we supply. So this is another important thing where these type of technologies which are developed here in the country, there is we are attracting the entire world that they can take it from here. This is another sea change what's happened. So the ecosystem has been evolving and shaping up itself to become a global ecosystem, such a way that the technologies are coming out of this country in a big way. So when we come to this today's current topic, having talked about how the ecosystem has evolved and where we are changing, innovations in disruptive technologies. First of all, let us just talk about what are the disruptive technologies and what it means. And let's say give a couple of examples. Internet, is one of the things as a disruptive technology which has come. And supported, which is definitely without that it cannot exist, is the communications, the speed, the bandwidth and all that. And then the gadgets, communication gadgets from here onwards, this is one thing. And the global positioning system, giving you the thing. These are some of the things from where the derivatives are, the cyber related aspects and all that which have come into the picture in a big way is another thing. And of late I consider two more as disruptive technologies. Is additive manufacturing is a disruptive technology. And of course the drones which have come, which we never thought the utilities of drone and the way they can penetrate into the utilities are the disruptive technologies. So when we say if we have to become a leader and we have to become a leading exporter in the world, the disruptive technologies or the type of technologies which world has not seen are the most important to come up from this side. That's the most important thing. So that is where we need to look at working what type of these technologies which we can come out. And very importantly, it is rightly put that enabling a global ecosystem is one thing. It is impossible without an enabling factor. Somebody particularly from the industry or even our academic institutes can get into this disruptive technology because you need a lot of supportive system. It's impossible just to we talk about very emotionally saying that we should come out with the disruptive technologies and all that. Lot of support, lot of funding mechanisms are required. Look at the mechanism DARPA has. DARPA's success rate is so much of funding is maybe 2, 3, 4% is the success rate. That is what is disruptive technology. If you think it is a very predictive success rate of having 50%, 80%, then there is nothing to do with the disruptive technologies at all. We need to see that we work on 10 things or 20 things and there may be one probably a success which comes out of it is type of it, things which you need to work on. And those, whether it is small or big, we need to identify, we need to work, and that is where we need to provide a lot of supportive mechanisms to this. And I wish that definitely we also have a scheme which will be like a DARPA type of a mechanism where a lot of funding can happen to the academia, industry or R&D organizations to work on this, where the success rate can be very, very low. This is one very important thing which is required. Today, what industry looks for? Industry looks for is what? On one hand is sustained orders. Second thing is if I need to do an R&D where the risk is very high, I support a funding mechanism. And of course the other mechanisms of availability of infrastructure and equipment, facilities, centers, testing facilities, these are of course are required. So particularly if you look at in Hyderabad today, we have the IIT Hyderabad, which is working a lot in this type of a new technologies and advanced technologies. We have IIIT here, we have TEEB Hub here, and then the most importantly, the defense and space laboratories in a big way here in this country, which have come primarily the missile technologies and then NRSE and various other things and Young Scientist Lab being here. This is one of the right places for the disruptive technologies to come up. So let us look at a little more what are those things which are emerging technologies where we should be in the forefront of it. Let's say one of the technologies which is coming up in a big way is the terahertz technologies, where I am 100% sure it is going to dominate the world in the next few years, 5 years, 10 years. Definitely this is one thing. Quantum technologies is another important area what is going to come up and is already started showing its trends and wherein we need to look at in a big way. Lasers, we have been very good. Generally world has come up with some of the laser technologies, but there are a lot more laser technologies which are coming out today, which are very, very essential for defense applications and various other related applications, which I don't want to get into too much of it, is one more thing. Third is the communications, where actually Subaraji was asking me the space related activities where today the space based communication systems, which I don't think it is too far that we are going to have a space based mobile set in the coming few years. I think Dhruv Aerospace is one which was been talking about it. There are many things related to it. And similarly, very low Earth orbit satellites, which actually try to provide me much more accurate information today. I cannot identify by imaging from that who is the person who is walking where. Can we identify or not possible is one of the important things where today is present at 30 centimeters, 20 centimeters resolutions. I go to 1 centimeters, 2 centimeters resolution, and then I am able to identify, track a person, sort of a thing also. From there onwards, I identify which mobile is where from the space. Sort of technologies which we are talking about. So, they're talking about the propulsion technologies for that, whether it's electric propulsion, green propulsion, or plasma-based propulsion for the space segment which are required, are very, very, very important technologies which we need to. Similarly, even today, one technology which actually eludes us is the underwater communication. Even today, we only depend on VLF, nothing else. So that is where one more important thing, even the space-based thing, and then people talk about the moment the wave touches the water, it converts into a optical thing, and then gets into it, acoustic thing, and then gets into it, and you are able to communicate with the submarine, and again the wave comes out, and as it comes out of the surface of water, again gets into electromagnetic thing, and go to into satellite and communication. This is another thing. Lots of unmanned vehicles, unmanned submarines, unmanned underwater vehicles, or unmanned aircrafts. This is another thing. In the space sector, a stratosphere related thing where you are able to put some vehicle in the stratosphere and it can remain for 6 months, 1 year, unlike the present hails and mails which are there. These are very important technologies which the world is working in a big way to have a vehicle in the stratosphere and then which can be doing surveillance at 70 kilometers altitude and 70,000 to 80,000 feet, where they are looking at the surveillance applications and all that. These are some of the things. Most important, our CMD Methani is here. Lot of work needs to happen in the material sector in the country today. Lot of work. And a lot has been done by Midani, DMRL and various other laboratories and all that. But still a lot of work needs to happen in the smart materials related things and advanced materials. We were talking today also talking about T600, T700, T800 or T900 fibers and related things and all that. That is one more actually disruptive technology which has come up. The fibers, the composites and ceramic materials which have come up in the last about 3 to 4 decades again, which have changed. And this is where a lot of work needs to happen in the country. And one is the technologies to be developed, and second thing is to become self-reliant in the materials. And what is the import today we have in the materials and how much we need to do is one of the important areas which a lot of industries have to come up, which actually if you see in the last 5 years, the number of industries which have come in the composites in the country and particularly in Hyderabad, there are a lot. At least 4 or 5 industries have come up in Hyderabad itself. So these are one more important area where we need to look at it. And this is what actually the working in these technologies, coming out in this and with the support system, which will make us leaders in the world. And world will look at this country and we can dominate the world and we can export and our export markets are there. In fact, I want to tell you, some 2-3 months back, I've done some work on what are the export market possible. If we actually, the analysis of the whole things, where the opportunities exist for India, is not just, 5 billion or anything. If opportunities which are able to work on that and capture, is more than 300 billions, right from subsystem to, I'm talking about defense and related technologies only. That is the type of opportunities exist. Yes, you try to work on that and develop and things like that, and you will be able to go to more than 300 billion. But see, today we have given, the Honorable Prime Minister has given 5 billions, and because our values are so low now, we are trying to get to the next step of 5 billion and becoming. So that is why not only just 5 billion, and the way he has given the call is make for the world. Meaning that you don't just make for India, make for the entire world and try to export it to the entire world. And that is how the country flourishes, industry flourishes, and country flourishes, and then economy of the country becomes very strong. So this is what is the essence of it. So what the ecosystem requires is a strong research base here in the country to happen in the academic institutes to R&D organizations. Like there are many centers which have come up now. I'll example tell you, IIT Delhi has come out with a bulletproof jacket, which I think it is so, that is the world's lightest bulletproof jacket. IIT Delhi which is coming. Final testings and everything is going on in mind. We are able to come out with such technologies. And so these are the type of things which research needs to happen in the areas, particularly what I said. I have said, mentioned only some of those areas which we need to look at many more areas and try to work on that and come out with those technologies. And as I said, Hyderabad is the right place where both defense and space related lot of activities, lot of labs happening, lot of academic institutes being there, activities known for it. See, primarily it has been more of between Bangalore and Hyderabad, the defense and space related and aero related activity, defense and aero and space related activities are very dominant, where lots of industries were there, lot of academic institutes are there. A right place to look at the things. And I think I say that again we need to have a little more deeper discussion after today's thing. What is the important point being enabling the ecosystem. Actually, I would like to change it as slightly enabling the ecosystem for a global innovations and disruptive technologies. What we are trying to look at the technologies, disruptive technologies, innovations which are global and try to have an enabling system. So we need to see, and I actually request Dr. Vishnuvardhan Reddy and then Subbarao ji to have a smaller meeting after this with the recommendations and thought processes. I am ready to spend time. Let us work on that, what ecosystem, how we need to create, how we can create it between various governments and academic institutes and all that, and see what it is. With funding being the major important thing becomes with funding. And funding as one of the things and other systems, how to create that is what we need to look at it. I wish the conference a great success, come out with a strong and practical and meaningful recommendations so that that type of ecosystem can be created, a global competitive disruptive technologies or innovations can come from this side. My best wishes to you. Thank you. Jai Hind. Namaskar.